Hi everyone. So this week I found the information regarding child protection and foster care and adoption the most interesting. In Maston's book, she had a statement. Now, unfortunately, I actually rented an ebook, so it doesn't give me the exact page on there. But there was a statement in there that said, the greatest direct threat to children arising in the family is neglect or child maltreatment, particularly when the source is the primary attachment figure. I thought it was a very powerful statement. Not surprisingly, the chapter mentioned that maltreatment can potentially affect brain development, adaptive function, and developmental delays. This is something that I work with closely every day, being a special education teacher. So that really kind of resonated with me. The book then goes on to talk about how neglect and maltreatment is commonly a byproduct of depression and substance abuse by the caregiver. If that's the case, then how come we're not doing more to help these parents? Is there a way to do any kind of screener? I know of a couple parents just by working in the school district who have been charged with or have had drug charges and whatnot, or have been to jail because of drug issues, and they get out and they get to come right back and the child is still in the home. So if we know this information, how do we not have more strict regulations to help prevent the maltreatment of these children? I think it would be something that we definitely need to look into as far as prevention, instead of letting these kids suffer through this and then trying to fix them later on, or to help them, I guess. As far as what I would like to explore more, I read both chapters in both books, but I was just really intrigued by looking more into our child welfare systems. Foster care children have to go through traumatic events or abuse or something to even land them into the system. And so then while they're in the system, some of them even go through more traumatic events. I know that the book talked about multiple placements, abuse in a foster home. Sorry, my puppy is trying to play. Lack of supervision, different things like that. So I did a little investigating on mental health care. My puppy is crazy right now. I did a little investigating on mental health care for children in foster care, and I found an article by Athens State University, and that article stated that 80% of children in foster care, 80% of children in foster care require intervention for serious behavioral and mental health problems. 3 out of 5 children have a lifetime mental diagnosis. So those are pretty staggering rates. With all that information, I wanted to know if the children are actually receiving these services. And of course, I've come across another website called the NCLS, and there is still significant gaps in the mental behavioral health care of children in the system. And a lot of these students or these children actually fall through the cracks. It kind of reminds me of all this discussion about Nicholas Cruz from the Florida school shooting. I feel like he's one of those instances that kind of fell through the cracks. If we recognize that these children have all of these issues, how come we're not able to help them and prevent them, like giving them these services instead of putting them in more potentially abusive placements or creating more traumatic events for them by being in foster homes? I was able to make a lot of connections to this week's reading simply because my husband and I are in the process of becoming foster parents ourselves. It was a little worrisome reading about some of these statistics with the mental health and all of that. but I hope that we're able to provide an environment that's positive enough that we can help build these children's resiliency. We'll see. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, I have linked the two articles that I got some of those numbers from. And if you guys have any questions, I would love to hear them. Thanks.